Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be voting on the Game Awards nominees that just got leaked, or not leaked, revealed last week. I know this is me. This is Bobby. Not some guy who hacked into this account. It's actually me. You may not recognize me. I cleaned up a little bit, got a haircut, shaved, you know. I had senior pictures or portraits, whatever you want to call them, over the weekend, so I got all nice and pretty for him. But don't worry, hair grows back, and so just give it a couple of weeks. This is what you're stuck with, but I'll be back to how I looked soon enough, all scraggly and you know, that sort of deal. But we're gonna hop in here to the main event. But I do have a shameless self-promotion that I would like to share with you. It does relate to what we're doing today, though. Do you like award shows? Do you like voting for things? Well, do I have the opportunity for you? If you're new around here, or new since, I guess, February, that is, and you didn't see my community post that I made just last week, I announced the, I guess, open submissions for the EAC Awards. The EAC Awards is an award show that I host every year for the past 2 years on this channel, with basically different awards for YouTubers that and YouTube videos and stuff that you guys nominate. So the open submissions are live now. You can write in who you want to nominate for each category. One person, so for best YouTuber, you write in me because I'm just the best, or whoever you think the best YouTuber is, and then the top 5 answers that I get, the answers with the most write-in submissions, that is at the end of the submission period, which is December 1st, is when this submission closes. Then I will pick the top 5 submissions. Those will be the 5 nominees, and we will pick the winner from there in the actual EAC Award Show, which will be hosted sometime next year in January or February. So the Google form link is in the description below. It'll be the top first thing that you see. Click on it, write in your submissions for each category, and that'll be that. So thank you, and let's actually get into our nominations right now. So here is the home page for the Game Awards. Got a nice background, cool looking thing. 2020 nominees. So here's everything. I already voted for everything. I'm just going to be going over it with you. We'll skip to the bottom because the interesting stuff is at the top. We got Best Esports Team. I voted for G2 just because I know a lot of people on G2 Esports. I have some friends that are within the org, and it seems like a great org, and they've done some great things. This is for the League of Legends team. I'm just going with the org in general. G2 is great. Best Esports Host. Golden Boy is my man from Fortnite, and I think he does some other stuff as well, but I know him especially from the Fortnite, game casts that they do, with the FNCS and everything, and he's the best. Golden Boy's just my man, so I'm going with Golden Boy for my vote. Best Esports Game, I think it's laughable that they even have Fortnite on this list. League of Legends is the classic. It's the OG. It's the best esports game. Year in and year out. So League takes the cake pretty easily, if you ask me. Valorant is new, but I think Valorant is a pretty good esports game. It's just, like I said, pretty fresh, pretty new, so I'm not sure if it deserves it yet, but maybe in the future. Best esports event there. This category stinks this year because there weren't really many in-person events, obviously, where out of our control and out of their control. No one could have predicted what happened this year, but I think the people that did the best with what they had was the League of Legends World Championship 2020. Call of Duty League Championship was pretty good. Overwatch League was just totally online, so that wasn't really the best. But League of Legends World Championships, I think they did the best that they could with the circumstances that they had, so they got my vote there. Best Esports Coach, I don't know many of these. A lot of them are from League of Legends or the Overwatch League, but I went with Rambo, my boy. He's the Call of Duty coach in this nomination pool, so I went with him, but I'm not super familiar with the rest of these guys. Best Esports Athlete, kind of the same deal. The only people I recognize are Crim6, Showmaker, and Shotzi. And I've only really heard of Showmaker, like I'm not familiar with his playstyle or anything. But Crim6 I voted for because I follow him on Twitter, and he posts some really cool clips and stuff, but I'm not like a diehard fan of him or anything. But I think he's pretty cool, so I voted for Crim 6. Best debut game. This is debut indie game. There's a couple good options here. I've heard of Roki. I've heard of all of these, actually. I just never played them, and haven't really seen a lot of gameplay from them, but I have heard and have seen lots of gameplay from Phasmophobia, especially last month, because spooky season, and, you know, everybody was playing it, and it seems like a great game. I loved watching people play it. I myself haven't played it, but I'm definitely going to give it a shot, so Phasmophobia got my vote. Content Creator of the Year. I don't know Jayanne Lopez. I'm not familiar with her or her content at all, but the rest of these guys, I watch all of them. I'm subscribed to all of them on YouTube and Twitch for Tim and Nick and Alana. So, you know, I watch all of these guys pretty much regularly. Nick Merckx has had a great year. Tim's had a good year in general, but with his Fall Guys stuff a couple months ago, where he was trending on Twitter worldwide. So Tim's kind of popped off there with his Fall Guys stunt. Valkyrie's been killing it on YouTube with her streams, setting records and everything, and Alana has been very helpful with the whole next-gen consoles this year especially. You know, her videos and her streams have been very informative, and I've found myself, you know, going to her for her opinion on everything. So that's why I voted for her, because I feel like you know, her content has had the most resonation with me in terms of keeping me up to date with all the next gen content and, you know, console news and everything like that. So that's why I chose Alana for that. She's done some good charity work too on her live streams and stuff this year as well. Best multiplayer game. Among Us is the one that I voted for. Valorant's not a good multiplayer game. It's more of a good just competitive game. It's not really a casual game at all. Warzone, I guess could technically win, but I don't think that they're cheaters. They don't have a really good like cheat, you know, recognition technology or whatever you want to call it, anti-cheat. Fall Guys has been good, especially this year, but they kind of came in late in the game. Same with Among Us, but Among Us just has reached such a wider audience. Like, not non-gamers are playing, that people that have never played another video game in their life are playing Among Us because it's so easy to get into. It's a murder mystery. It's this concept everybody's heard of before. Best sports and racing game. I went with 2K21. I don't think it is going to win. I don't think 2K should win. However, it's the only game that I've played on this list. I want to play Dirt 5, maybe with on the PS5, because they, you know, the new graphics and everything. But I went 2K just because it's the one I've played the most. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I think, could probably win this. Maybe FIFA, I'm not too familiar, but I don't think 2K will win. I don't think 2K should win, but I voted for 2K. Best Sim Strategy, Flight Simulator is the only one that I've played out of these. I really want to play Gears Tactics, and I know Gears is a great franchise for Xbox. So I went with Gears Tactics. I haven't heard of Crusader Kings or Desperados or XCOM. So I can't really speak on their behalf, but for Gears Tactics, I think that I chose the right option there. Best family game? Here's where all your Nintendo stuff comes in, Skytune. I'm sure you were waiting for that. All your Nintendo games. So you got Animal Crossing, you got Mario Kart, you got Paper Mario, and I guess Crash 4 is technically, I mean, it's going to come to Switch eventually. I don't understand. Crash Bandicoot, a lot of these games aren't family games. Minecraft Dungeons is easily the best game out of this list, but it's not a family game. Same with Fall Guys, not a family game. Crash, not a family game. Animal Crossing, I guess, but I just don't see it as like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And same Paper Mario as well. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit is the only one on this list that I would consider a good family game. So that's why I went with Mario Kart Live, and it looks like a lot of fun. I really need to get it, maybe for Christmas. We'll see. Best fighting game. Not very qualified for this either. Mortal Kombat 11 is what I chose. I've only heard of Mortal Kombat 11 and Street Fighter, so it was between them two, and I went with Mortal Kombat. Best role-playing game. I went with Persona 5. I think it's pretty widely considered to be the winner in this category. Genshin Impact obviously has been probably also just about as popular as Final Fantasy and Persona, but I just don't see it winning best role-playing. I'm still going to stick with Persona 5 for that. Best action adventure. Got all of these games I think are deserving of it. Assassin's Creed has been great so far. I'm only a little bit of the way into the insanely long story. Ghost of Tsushima, haven't played yet, but I have heard and seen nothing but good things. Miles Morales, who I inevitably voted for, because basically the combat mechanics, you see the description here, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Well, combat and traversing for Spider-Man is the most fun thing ever, and I could swing around to traverse as many times as I possibly want to, and I could, use the finishing abilities and the Venom punch and all that stuff. Spider-Man Miles Morales definitely wins this for me. And The Last of Us Part 2 is a great action-adventure game, but it doesn't have the best combat mechanics. That's the only reason I didn't vote for it there. Best action game, I went with Hades. I guess I could go with Doom Eternal, because I have heard good things. But I haven't played any of these games, actually, but I've heard a lot of great things about Hades. And Hades got my vote for some of the future categories as well, just because of the great things that I've heard about it. Innovation and accessibility isn't even a question as far as I'm concerned. The Last of Us Part 2 easily has the best accessibility features, the most accessibility features, of any video game ever, maybe. They went above and beyond, Naughty Dog did, with their accessibility options, and have continued to add in accessibility options with updates since launch. So props to Naughty Dog for that. I think The Last of Us Part 2 easily has that category in the bag. Best VR game. I haven't played any of these in VR. Actually, I haven't played any of these, period, but I really want to try Squadrons in VR when I get Squadrons, and when I get PlayStation VR, that is, because it just seems like it'd be so cool. So that's what I voted for there. Not super qualified to talk about that, though. Best community support. All of these are deserving of it, besides Fortnite, and I think, again, it's actually laughable that they put Fortnite up there, because Fortnite has just about the worst community support, besides Rocket League, in any video game ever. So Fortnite, I don't even know why it's on the list. I picked Valorant for Riot Games because they've just been, especially with the beta that came out earlier, I think it was in June or maybe May. Regardless, Valorant was, Riot Games on Twitter was very, very quick to get back to people who found issues, very quick to fix the issues in the game and update things, and they were just so helpful, especially with the launch of the game. They were really on top of things. Best mobile game, I went with Among Us again for the same reason as before, because everybody plays Among Us, or played Among Us at one point, on their phone or on their computer. Just the fact that it's free to play on the App Store, no matter what phone you have, is the reason that so many people are playing it. It's so big, and it's so easy, again, to grasp the concept of it. So I think Among Us will win that. Best indie, again, I went with Hades. I don't know much about the rest of these. I didn't even know that Fall Guys was an indie, so I guess Fall Guys could win. And you know what? Maybe some of these other games are fantastic, and I just don't know. But from what I've heard from Hades, I feel like that'll win, and so that's why I voted for it. Best ongoing game, it's not Fortnite, it's not Warzone. Don't know about Destiny, but it could be Apex Legends. I think Apex could win that. But No Man's Sky this year has been great with updating their game and making it what it was supposed to be at launch, what everybody wanted it to be at launch. Props to Hello Games, because they never gave up on No Man's Sky, and they turned it around and made it incredible. And they just released the next gen update as well, which is like a huge deal, and I can't wait to try it out. So my vote goes to No Man's Sky there. Games for Impact, I didn't vote for because I just don't feel like it would be right for me to vote for a game in this category. I just don't know. Thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. I know nothing about this. I know nothing about any of these games, and I know nothing about what the category is meant to be for, so I'm not gonna cast a vote in this unless one of you guys makes a compelling argument for one of these games in the comments, in which case maybe I'll cast my vote for whatever you convince me to. So maybe shed some light on that in the comments if you can, because I'd love to vote for something in that category. I just don't know enough about it. All right, here we go. Here's the juicy stuff. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice-over, acting, motion, and or performance capture. Ashley Johnson as Ellie, Laura Bailey as Abby. Those are your two options, folks. If you go and you watch the behind-the-scenes creation of The Last of Us Part 2, you watch the behind-the-scenes, you watch Ashley Johnson, you watch Laura Bailey do the mocap, do the act, you watch them act, and you just see how much emotion, how much time and effort they put in to these characters to make them what they are in the game. I know Laura Bailey got a ton of backlash, a ton of unwarranted hate because of how Abby as the character it was written and how she is in the story. But what Laura Bailey did, the way she, it was incredible the way she brought it to life, I think. And it's not her fault that Abby is just a very unlikable character. She is a very likable actress because she's incredible. And Ashley Johnson, I think, will win this. Nobody else deserves to win this besides her, because she put her heart and soul and everything into this role. And it shows in the game, regardless of how you feel about it. It shows, and you have to admit it. So I'm not even going to go over the rest of these nominations. Ashley Johnson deserves that award tenfold. Literally deserves it. I mean, no one else is going to. Go back. Nothing. I don't know. If Ashley Johnson doesn't win this, I'm going to riot, because it has to be rigged then. And maybe my bias is showing through, as you'll see with a lot of my votes going to The Last of Us Part 2 in these final few categories. But I think we can all agree that Ashley Johnson did an insane job bringing Ellie and her, just depressing story to life. Best audio design. Now, I'm not an audio guru. I'm not an audio technician or a sound master of any sort. So I just went with my favorite game out of this category, and that was The Last of Us Part 2. I'm sure Resident Evil, I think, would probably be the one that you would go for if you actually knew what you were talking about. But I just went with The Last of Us because it's my favorite game out of the selections. Best score and music. Now this I do know what I'm stinking talking about, because I've listened. I love the sound. I feel like a soundtrack can make or break a game, and that was the case with The Last of Us Part 2. It defined the story. Without the music, without the soundtrack from Gustavo, who killed it, the story would not have resonated with me as much as it did. I think it's safe to say that. So Gustavo just did a great job at encapsulating the emotions that you're feeling during the game, and you can hear it in the songs, in the soundtrack, in the score. And I think that's so unique and so hard to do. I think The Last of Us Part 2 deserves best score and music by far. Definitely. Best art direction, I again went with Hades, just because it's such a unique, sort of artistic style that they did for a game. And I know a lot of kind of I know there's other games that use this style, but in my opinion, I from what I've seen, I thought it looked pretty good. Last of Us Part 2, see, this could go a bunch of different ways, because Ori and the Will of the Wisps looks very good in terms of, artistic design. Last of Us Part 2 looks the best. It's the best looking game on the PlayStation 4, and the best looking game, realistically, I guess, out of all of these. But Hades had, the most, unique, art style, so that's why I went with them. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development. I know that The Last of Us Part 2 got so much hate for it, and it's very controversial, but it's by far the best storytelling. That was what made Part 1. The Last of Us Part 1 still, I think, changed the way that storytelling in video games, was I guess, happened. I mean, the story was so unique in terms of video games. I don't know. I'm trying not to let my bias show through, show through what I'm saying here. But Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross destroyed this in a good way, destroyed the storytelling and the narrative development, which is what it says down here in the description of the category. I think Part 2 deserves this award. Best game direction, I went with Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't played it yet, but I think it deserves it. It's not going to be The Last of Us. I don't know enough about the rest of these, so I went with Ghost of Tsushima because I feel like the creative vision. I guess I don't know. I'm trying to use these words to kind of explain my thought process behind this, but I felt bad that I didn't give Ghost of Tsushima any other votes because I think it is a great game. I can't wait to play it. Been talking for so long, my voice is going. But yeah, so I figured I'd give it at least one vote, and that was for Best Game Direction. And now we have Game of the Year, which is The Last of Us Part 2. I think it will win. I hope it will win. It deserves to win because it has everything about a game that you need. Controversy aside, put aside all the controversy because it has nothing to do with the technicality of the game, the storytelling, the music, everything that makes a game the Game of the Year. And The Last of Us Part 2 is that game. It's the Game of the Year. And that is my voting. Hopefully, I wasn't too biased. So you go ahead, tear me apart, rip me apart in the comments. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have, very much appreciated. Other than that, I know this was a long video, but I wanted to go through why I chose what I chose. And these aren't final. I have a couple days to, go through and change them up. And maybe I will, depending on how you persuade me in the comments. Please be respectful of everybody's opinions. I try to. I'm not the best, but I try to. So if you get in any arguments in the comments, I'll be deleting your comments. No arguments, just civil discussions. But definitely discuss in the comments below about how you feel about all these things. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have, very much appreciated. Other than that, have a good one, and I'll check you guys in the next video very, very soon. Take care.